2026 Academy Championship underway. Lights are on. And it's lights out, away the season goes. They pour the way away. Mill's been there for our opposite. That's going to slide down. As Freddie Kelly meanwhile gets a good start. Tim George put himself right in the midst there. So in the end, Paul Stratton really struggling to get the power down off the line. But it's a brilliant start now. I do believe that's Tim George who has a lead. And they roll the way on through. And well, somebody gets it very wrong. Ooh.
So when he's going to spin across the field, that's going to be contact on the field. Hopefully they're all going to anchor up. Still more, not the greatest start for them. Someone spinning out of a lead right in front of the pack, and then the rest of them really had nowhere else to go. Really unfortunate start for our academy. That will be a red flag, I'm pretty sure. We'll watch for that, and then a complete restart. So that is Morton Stratton, our leader, just getting caught out actually. So he is not had the best start to his academy. We'll watch them around, but there is the red flag, so they will all brought back around to the grid, and that would be as if the race had never happened. So they will have a restart, but obviously there will be gaps in the grid where hopefully everyone okay as they contacted there, but hopefully they'll go to okay. A bit of a mess. They've got front wings hanging off and front wheels and rear wheels all over the place. So not a pretty start, not a fantastic start for their racing career. But it was a car spinning at the front there and just nowhere else left for the pack to go. You can see how low the visibility is. Gives me an opportunity as and on behalf of all the drivers to say.
Here is the restarted season opening race, ladies and gentlemen, with the campaign machine, Caterham Academy Championship of 2026, and it is going to be lights out, away we go. And as they do, everyone a little more cautious this time. It's a good start there from our effective pole sitter Tim George. Puts himself right in the middle, doesn't know which way to go here, and suddenly it's going to be approaching at Tom Stanton, who backs off nice and early to break out on the inside, but doesn't to risk it. You can see there, Prince starting to take it a bit easy as well. But everyone this time, you can tell, there's some body language difference there, Chris. They're taking it very easily.
Yeah, you've seen the worst of motorsport. Now they've all got around that turn one. So here we go then, as they head down there. It's Tim George actually making a clean pair of heels, isn't he? He's got the absolute scamper on as he heads downhill then into the old hairpin. This on camber downhill, sweeping to the right. Really devastatingly fast corner, and they've managed to negotiate that as they head up the hill. We're looking out for the timing screen to update itself as we go through, and we'll be able to call them out properly as they head up the first lap. But yeah, absolute single file racing now, so they have managed to sort themselves out as they go through this early part of the lap. They head back up the hill then towards completing points.
Indeed, a brilliant start to this race now, and as everyone comes on through, the lines don't hit. No, really going for two big races. Run wide there, on 75, and there's the other count. Well, you definitely get it together there. Because this is one of those bends that you can cut in several different ways. It's not exactly a single racing line there. But Princeton feeling a bit of pressure, but he won't feel it when the two drivers behind him start to fight each other as they come down onto the brakes. See Dan West just watching eagerly there, relying on the green machine. And well, right now above Ben Princeton, he's definitely feeling the pressure involved. But after one lap of racing, it is none other than George ahead of Mulholland, followed by Stanton. That's your top three. Then in fourth is Princeton, feeling the pressure here from McGovern, looking for a potential move into Red Gate. He's looking to us from that far back. Then we do have Dan ahead of West, followed by SEO. And we have Murphy and Caldwell completing that lap top 10. Greenhall best the rest in 11th at the moment. Actually spread out to see some packs. And in fact, that might be a fight there, I believe, for the second place.
Stanton going into second place, then George taking us over the line that first time, and then it's McGovern in the Caterham machine car, so looking to see whether he can come through that mid pack. Fifth across the line, but I think it's fighting for that fourth place as this lead trio then go up the hill. There is that battle, McGovern and Princeton think for that fourth and fifth place, and they head up this complete towards us. The rest of the field also making their way up and safely through.
The drivers do a very good job in building up tyre temperature as they go as well. And well, one big part to setting up the car is making sure you've got the right tyre pressures for the conditions out there. And well, all the information they would have had this morning would have been a much cooler circuit. But put that aside, because right now it's hotting up at front. We've got a new leader coming through. That's the 67 of Mulholland up the inside of George. The way through to the end of lap 2. Right, see George trying to come back. Stanton's fallen off, and well, as they come through, Stanton's just watching the rear of the pitch at the moment.
Back in it.
He's going to make it 3 wide here. He decides, you know what, how about I look around the outside? But that's going to be a very largest defence there for Mulholland. And he says to George and Stanton, you two can fight over second place now. Done playing with you for a brief moment. You see a bit of run wide there from George, but to be fair, he's just carrying a bit of momentum and a bit of enthusiasm. Moving. It's not free, Chris. They really are bolting away at the moment.
Yeah, Stanton now has got that pace under control. He's pushing through, isn't he, over the top of George in that second place, having to defend hard. sorry if I got the wrong way around. Stanton's in that third place. Mulholland out front, really going well as he goes up the hill. But yeah, George just had that initial pace, but it just looks like as they've now got into the third race, I remember they did thousands of percent more race laps than they've ever done before. As they go into the realms of what does it feel like, and they suddenly decided, why not go 3-1? And why the heck?
Oh, indeed. You might as well experiment. You've got plenty of laps to do it, and you've got plenty of races and grounds to do it in the championship. So therefore, every day's a learning day. Every lap is a learning lap, you could say. Meanwhile, the battle for full. Still Stone a hold of the government at the moment. As the Euro pulling back a little bit. It looks as though the top right now. Preempted away of proceedings. Also, just to mention that we have seen Donatus Juskowskis moving his way up. He's moving way up to 16th in the back of the field. So he's had a very good start to this restarted race. And as they come through, there's your top three. Then you've got full through to 6th there. Notice that the CEO is actually closing up to about 5th. And then look at his pack here. He's right now very tight for himself. All the way through down to 12. So that's Murphy all the way to McIntyre. Be a bit of a move there, and we'll go defensive as McIntyre at the back of the group.
See that lime green car there, that's down west, one of the Caterham mechanics, and he's carrying all the Caterham logos, really zooming like that. It's a great thing to get to see that paddock. But yeah, and the battle absolutely is rich in this midfield, isn't it, as they're all flowing down through. And seeing this Academy car, they don't have a rear anti-roll bar, and you can see how much the cars do lean over. Remember, this ladder is all about starting from a road focus to the road legal race car, all the way up to a track focus, and part of that is how the car changes its dynamics as we move up the inside. They're not making it stick though as they head up into the cleans. Good overtaking opportunity to go around the inside and the outside there. We watch our lead group just going through Coppice, and there's a little bit of a pregnant pause whilst in this fourth place. And it is still Prince Stone and McGovern. They've been having a race-long battle, but they are now joined by Hussey Yo to see whether he can move himself forward in this pack, and not too far behind back. Then it's Murphy, West and down here watching this short run.
Hussey looking for a move here on the inside, going to try and take that fifth place of McGovern. He's been building up, they're going to go 3 wide on the braking. And well, in the end, McGovern goes all in. Princetone gives him plenty of space to work with there. I think seeing McGovern was coming much later. Well, McGovern's now learned you can brake a bit later there in towards the S's. And here comes Hussey looking around the outside of Princetone. At the bit, but look behind Sunny, 7th, 8th place to catch up. That's West and Greenhall getting closer and closer. So you goes up the inside, goes all in on the brakes, and the number 2. Indeed,
he's not going to keep it there.
Incredible progress, but he'll just fall a little bit wide there. But back to the battle for 2nd place we come. Our leader's checked out. Mulholland decided he's got a flight to catch at East Midlands Airport. So therefore, it's the fight between Stanton and George at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And this has been nose to tail now for a couple of laps. They're trying to figure it all out, and there's a lot to learn. You can see our lead just disappearing off the screen to the left. He's just making his way through, but here is that battle then for 2nd and 3rd. They are clear in looking like they might pick the trophy if they can keep it going, but 2nd trophy is bigger than the 3rd one, so you want that one, don't you? As the rest of the field, then this is the sort of biggest battle pack we've got as they come up towards us, and that's from 4th all the way down to 8th and 9th, I think, about 10th place, so the top 10 is all in that grab. But as we see Tim George still seeing whether he can do anything about Stanton. But he's ahead of Stanton now, so they have swapped since we last went over the line as they come down then towards us. George in that 2nd place. Got a bit of an indicator, don't you worry about that, that's just when you get a bit exuberant on the steering wheel. You've got the little, it's a switch that does that indicator, and it's right by when you have an oversteer moment. We've been seeing George flinging that car into the chicane, and you can see why you might accidentally knock on an indicator, and believe me, you don't see it or hear it when you're in the car.
Oh, 100%, and well, what you'll definitely see is that's going to stand on the inside of there in towards Redgate Bend. Number 22 moves on forward, but in the end comes on the front nicely. Really smart his defensive lines he comes out. Obviously, if he's still got plenty of the race to go, and drafts some strong between these cars as they sweep away from what the Hollywood in towards the trainer curves. Then we look back to the fight for 4th all the way through to back into the top 10. And as we see Euro down in 4th place, McGovern and Murphy behind. Princetone will drop back to 7th. However, don't follow them out, he will creep back forward.
He just lost momentum in the chicane. I think he outbraked himself a couple of laps back, and it sort of knocked him out of the train, and then suddenly he's no longer in that sort of train of cars, and he's having to just fight back to get back home, but also now having to defend from the rear. So again, as he's looking in, that has put some change there into that 5th place, I think, as they headed up the field. But yeah, Hussey just made up those couple of places and sort of solidifying that as they go, as we watch these two swapping once more. So Stratton ahead of George at this point. Our leaders just about heading into the chicane, so making great progress as we watch then Hussey over the top of McGovern, into
Indeed, and McGovern right now finds himself trying to rock the half place. We see 2nd place swapping once again, and now That's going to be 20 bring back into the second. Now he started a lap, and that will be bring back there for Tim George. He has to keep looking behind him and think when's the next move going to come. Where comes quickly as that into red gate? Well, does it? No, not quite. Snake's on the brake, and then still his indicator on. So that's his indicator. He's trying to go as quick as humanly possible. And Stanton right now still enthusiastic. He decides to look around the outside of Hollywood to get the inside of the train curves. He switches back in the end. So this looks like a good indicator point for Max, because it's so easy to find here, Chris, because there's some calls where you don't necessarily want to be on the outside to push on the wrong line for the remainder of a section course.
It's a momentum-based track. You do want to use every single last bit of the track, but Tim George will have to be a bit careful here because he's already got a black and white circuit. Track limits are part of UK motorsport nowadays, like them or loathe them, and if you put your tyres beyond the white line on the edge of the track or beyond the curbing, if there is red and white marked curbing, then that is a track limits infringement, and we have automated sensors around this Donington circuit, which means that if you do it and it trigger one of those automated sensors, it is a slam dunk. And I can see on my time screen that Tim George has already got a black and white flag, which means he's had a couple of those infringements against him. Any more and he'll get a 5-second penalty, so you can see how close the racing is out there. It will be quite a few places drop, but strap down down the inside of George once more. We must keep an eye out and make sure that we don't see another track limit.
And as he makes his way onwards, I mean, one of the curious questions, Chris, does he know that he's got a black and white flag?
You will get that, so you don't know about the first one, that just gets marked invisibly, but if you get a second one, he would have been given a black and white warning flag on that start-finish rate. But you've seen how busy those drivers are as they go over that start-finish rate. It's not easy to see and easy to miss indeed, so he doesn't necessarily know that he's got that
Indeed, and like you say, the intensity of the racing is here. It's back on the inside of the credit because it's already in racing. I mean, I think we've got a little bit of a rivalry by the way. I mean, this is only the first race of their season. We think we have a grand into the over 5 race meet. I think the Stanton George rivalry is going to be up there. Some of the very best we've seen in the last couple of years with the Caterham Championship. But as we look further back there, you see the green glimpses. I think it's going to be raced out of light. So yeah, drop green wall to the green. Stone. But as soon as I say that, Green Boy's right back there with him, so what I know about, ladies and gentlemen, and see all trying to do a fantastic job out there. And well, there's that point for second, that's absolutely ripping us right now. And I'll lead them all Holland, we now seconds away out front. This will be a huge mark, one of the biggest we've seen in some time. With the end of that. Oh, what's this, Chris? Let's only go round.
And indeed, who's that? The number 73. Then, and that is Anthony Dan, great looking car in that, but it has had a spin up at Coppice, so he's lost all that speed momentum. He was, I think, he was up in 9th place last time across the line, so he's going to be slipping right down the order, I fear, as spin is going to cost him time.
Indeed, unfortunately, Dan, but it's all part of the learning experience to be there. They do get a drop score over the course of the season as well, so they can have one bad round at least, but necessarily you need to learn from those mistakes going into the next one. Into the old air, indeed, lovely flying sequence and succession here. And fantastic job. The pace is getting quicker and quicker between everybody. Nice one goal from it must be said, on top of 23, no 24s, then you've got 25, 27, but I mean, everyone gets good, so each circuit's going to favour individual drivers.
Because none of them have ever done any kind of motorsport before. Some of them will have done lots of track dates, some of them have driven Caterham for a long time. It really is, some of them, this will be virtually the first time they've ever touched a circuit. So it's just a vast degree of different experience levels out there. Even at this, they are all racing novices, but they will have different experience of driving a car, different experience of what it means to be a racing driver. They're all learning at their own pace. What we do see is this is the widest the gap will ever be, and then as they go through the season, those gaps come down and down and down. But here's an opportunity to look at our race leader at the moment as he comes across the line. Then Mulholland in the number 67 car as he heads on around. And yeah, he's definitely taking it's like a duck to water.
I thought his license plate was back there said CEO, CXA, unfortunately. Otherwise that'd be the perfect license plate to start off with season. But either way, as he carries on, a little bit further down the order there, and runners lap down to, of course, Gardner chasing after White in the 18th place. Goes to show you again, as I say no moments ago, the fact that the piece will narrow in the field. We do also have a black and white flag now for number 73. I mean, if Dave can go from good to bad to worse, for Dan after his spin, I don't think he needs a black and white for the spin, ladies and gentlemen. His come back through the field. He's triggered that track limit warning, so one more row, 5 second penalty. Meanwhile, ball going on. Catch up to Whitey. Scrap as best they can. Because the only problem is that we're the lead coming through, and obviously no blue flags, which you need to respect.
Yeah, we talked about that in the drivers' briefing this morning. For the ball, blue flag is advisory, so it doesn't mean you have to do anything. And as we tell our drivers, the most important thing is to be consistent. Take your normal racing line up until the point of the overtaking either on your outside or inside, then give as it happens. But the worst thing you can do is jig to the side or jig out the way, because that means the car following won't really know what you're up to. So yeah, we ask our drivers to be nice and consistent, take their normal racing line up until the point that overtake is happening. And they will gain that experience as they go through. A little bit of a comfort gap there for Stanton that time through as he goes along the line. And George has actually dropped it back just a touch there. It will be easy to catch back up if the opportunity arises and just sits in the toe. We talk about Caterham and their toe, and what I mean by that is if you are the car following another one down the hill, you will be gaining speed because of the lap of the wind over your car. And you go 5 to 10 mile an hour quicker in that toe as you get closer and closer, the toe gets more and more powerful, especially in this Caterham, which are the lowest powered car that we've got here today, although in fact they have got 130 horsepower in the circuit, so it's all a bit different, but nevertheless the toe will get stronger as well.
And speaking of horses galloping their way down the hill and now back up it, we do see there Prince Snow holding on to 6 versus Greenmore and Weston. So the place back and forth with Greenmore and Prince Snow over the last couple of laps. This is almost back into the fight, so it's going to be a bit of an interesting battle for 6th place to proceed. We'll see the rest of Hill now making its way on through. So a little bit of a burgeoning battle there for Man and Kauskas. Kauskas now up into 14. It's a great risk as well, but there's our number 12 as they come through, and that is going to be Whiting as he does let the second, third place runners go, or what we should really say is they go around it and about the second. That little bit of gap you're saying, where suddenly that gap's gone,
and not only that,
yeah, because the year's behind him as well.
He's closed across so he's come through the pack, closed across the gap. Clearly he had a bit of out of position start there in the damp and wet that we had, which is so tricky conditions to qualify. Well done to all our drivers getting through that. But he has come across that gap, and now he is looking like he's going to threaten for that podium then. He's got the head of steam, and he's got 4 minutes to see whether his second's on the cards. I don't think he's got any chance of getting to Mulholland without a mistake from him, but he's very much got the opportunity for second and third.
Oh, indeed, the CEO is going to be one to watch all the way to end. Is a far beat in number 2, the man who is based in London, and they're not too far away from Donington Park Circuit. Of course, considers the British Motorsports is right in the centre of the United Kingdom. It's the easiest circuit to get to for Britain, but anybody where they live in the country, although I'm sure there'll be some who disagree, it's a good place to move well to the Highlands. But as I do make the way around right now to the lowland run of the Essex, there you can see the CEO getting closer and closer to George. He's really bearing down. Here he goes inside right at the last moment. And we're on the brakes here. Don't think he'll stop in time. He does, but he's not going to quite get clear. It's very close, but in the end, George backs out there 9. That was going to be a defining space. He can get a good run down towards turn number 1.
Yeah, looks like he might even get a runner back at him. He's not quite in the toe though. You need that toe to gain you that extra speed. But yeah, there was a really good close racing, only a millimetre between them. He is going to dive down the inside. He is going to make no bites. He lost the rear. You can see this extra power of that turbo powered 130 horsepower sideways, but it didn't slow him down. He absolutely get his foot in, and he is going to be hammering on down. So he takes back that 3rd place, but he's under severe threat at the moment.
Oh, indeed. I think the CEO decides to back out, going down through crane the curves, realising that I've still got a couple of laps to go. I don't need to get it done right now. He'll use all that information. He'll know now if he tries to attack George and get past him, he can expect George to be very aggressive on the brakes and right to hit the brake on his own, which is not too many of them here at Donington Park, to be fair. It does seem there's a lot of confidence there for George on the brakes, but this done by Stanton now a sizable 3-second gap in second. So suddenly, big battle at the front is he's barring any late mistakes between drivers. And well, look at that. That's the CEO going more sideways and straight, coming through Coppice Bend. And this is gradually bringing McGovern into. We'll see him coming in. There is McGovern from the left hand side of your picture. But the CEO goes once again. This time George covers him up a bit tighter. And you see the CEO in the end, of course, the door open as much as possible.
A bit late on the brakes that time, didn't quite make it. So that is going to be the position done. They lost the rear. He's gone around, so we're pushing too hard. Nice little catch there, gets him back up and running, and off he goes. He's only lost one place, I think, but just pushing really hard, and it does look like Bridgestone may also get a chance, and it's going to be Dan Ress, I think, up next behind there, looking to see whether he can go. So he lost the speed, lost the momentum, and unfortunate way to lose those positions. And again, you can see him really late on the brakes, really pushing that car, and absolutely getting on that power just a little bit too heavily. We've seen him get away with it once or twice, but that time the car didn't loop on him, and he's lost out on that podium chance.
Oh, it's unfortunate there. I think he's going to be absolutely kicking himself. But right now, he can kick himself after he gets out the car. He needs to get his head down. There's still points to
spin again.
Indeed, he won't want to know another spin. And that's the thing. Once you make one mistake, if it gets into your head, you're going to make even more mistakes. Because suddenly the circuit no longer looks as nice to you as it did previously. We are on up an auto lap as well.
I didn't see when he crossed the line. We're going to be keeping an eye out. I think that we will have one more afterwards, but keep an eye out for that checkered flag just in case, because it's going to be a good time.
Indeed, Mulholland right now in a bit of postcode of his own, and all the guys that carry on here. I don't think we expected him into that much. The gap there is our leaders. We are going to get one more lap. We will get 15 laps forward. And right now, break up to space and sets a very close to fastest lap as point. Well, very soft place there is. He won't be a bit lonely out there. He's not getting bored. Although the CEO right now is chasing him down. I think Finn on number 2 drives going to be one of those whereby he likes to have a carrot to chase, essentially, in the old carrot and stick situation.
Absolutely, yeah. The characters of these drivers will come out. I can see the last lap order all being hung out to the drivers again. Not easy to see that as we see whether Bridgestone can hold off the rejoining turn. In fact, Dan's going down the inside there, making that position just about skip. So he's got to lick his wounds and try and get back up to speed, get his head back in the game. Third place driver, in fact, second place, third place driver, Pasio. McGovern, I don't think he's going to get across that gap. It looked like he might come across, but still 3.5 seconds beyond at this stage. So I think that's going to be the top 3, barring any mistakes.
Oh, indeed, things do settle down a little bit inside that top 3, but to be fair, it's been unsettled throughout the race. We have had mistakes of drivers, but it's all a learning experience to make this way out of this bend. There's one driver who really has been at the head of the class thus far, and that is none other than 67 of William Mulholland, who makes his way into the final braking zone. Into the S he goes, and the driver, based in cheer, is going to come into the finish line and take the first win of the 2026 Caffeine and Machine Caterham Academy Championship campaign in style by the best part of over 8 seconds. We will see a couple of guys finish on a lap down. There he comes out the final corner. It is going to be your number 22 of Thomas Danton who comes home.